Welcome back, Bluegrass Sports Podcast fans, to episode number 8. And just a brief overview of what we're going to talk about today. We have the Louisville Kings Week 2 game against the Orlando Storm. We'll dive into some college baseball throughout the Bluegrass, and then we'll also talk about the transfer portal that's going on right now in basketball because it just opened up today. So I will discuss Louisville's in, and Tyler will discuss Kentucky's in. So we'll deep dive into all of that, but first, I am Drew Keesee.
My name's Tyler Cade, University of Kentucky analyst.
And we do not have DJ yet once again because DJ likes to go to Japan, all of a sudden leave us alone. I'm joking.
DJ's stuck in Japan.
Yeah, he's having the time of his life over there. He went to Tokyo, and now he's in, I think it's called Osaka. I've never been over there, but he'll for sure be back in the next episode, and I will be taking over the Louisville side since he's gone right now. So right now it's just me and Tyler, and we will dive right into it. So first things first, we have the Louisville Kings. Now they played Saturday night in Orlando, their first away game of the season. They played the Orlando Storm. They faced their former University of Louisville quarterback, Jack Plummer. He played a few years ago, and a lot of Louisville fans, they won some games with them, but from all the Louisville fans I know, they think that he's just mid. So, but this game, he actually played really well. So, the Orlando Storm quarterback, Jack Plummer, played the Louisville Kings, and he completed 18 passes on 23 attempts. He had 182 yards with 2 touchdowns. Now, he did have an interception, but his QB rating was 110.5. I'm just going to say 110. But to anybody who knows ball, that's really good. That's a really good rating. And I watched the game personally, and he just looked really comfortable out there. He looked like he was making those short passes he did at Louisville, and he played majority of the game. The backup got like 1 or 2 drives, but Jack Plummer had the majority of the game, and he played really well against the Kings, getting that win over them. Now, when it came to the Louisville Kings, Chandler Rogers would be your main quarterback this game. Jason Bean, he went 4 for 15 with 49 passing yards with a 40 QB rating, but Chandler Rogers would take majority of the time at quarterback this game. He went 13 for 20 with 152 yards, no touchdowns and interception with a 67 quarterback rating. Now, if you paid attention in this game, the offense couldn't really get rolling. And, last episode I talked about the rushing game and how Jason Bean was the lead. The quarterback was the lead for the rushing game. The same thing happened this week with Chandler Rogers being the leading rusher with only 1 attempt and 12 yards. And then Benny Snell, he had 6 attempts on 4 yards, and he didn't even average a yard per carry. So, as you could tell, the receiving stats were kind of iffy too. You got Trey McKitty. He had that's his number. I'm sorry. He had 39 yards, 2 targets, and then you had Cade Prather 38 yards and 5 targets. Tariq Black with 3 targets and 27 yards, and then Benny Snell got in the receiving game. Benny Snell, he had 22. His longest receiving yards was 22 on a play, but he had 28 total in the game, and he only had 2 targets, which is pretty impressive. I know Kentucky fans are looking out for him, but overall, just for the Louisville Kings, they're 0-2 now. Their offense doesn't look the greatest. They've had many chances to capitalize on these games, and they just couldn't. Their defense is looking solid, but the offense is just, man, they're just struggling right now, and it's the second week they've lost. They haven't won a game yet. They haven't had their first win ever, and once they do, you'll know on our socials. But, yeah, they're 0-2 now, having a rough loss to the Orlando Storm. Week 3, they also play the Orlando Storm, and that'll be at Lynn Family Stadium. So we'll keep you updated on our socials on that. Tyler, what is our socials? Keep the fans updated on where they can find us.
BG Sports Podcast, and that's on Instagram, X, Threads, um, Facebook, and TikTok. And then it's Bluegrass Sports Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, check us out there. We'll be posting all the final scores, commitments, everything you want to see, and want to tune in your favorite team. We will be posting that in the Bluegrass. So we'll be
Yep.
posting that online. So check us out. And now, moving on from the Kings, they just have to play the Orlando Storm again, which me and Tyler, we talked about it last week. It's just weird how you play the same team back to back.
It
Now,
is.
sometimes, like in college or NFL, I think it happens more in the NFL when, let's say, the Cowboys and Giants, right? The Cowboys play the Giants on week 8. The Cowboys will get a bye week 9. Then the week 10 comes around, they'll play the Giants again. But I've never seen two teams play each other back to back weeks in football. That's a first for me. I think that's a first for Tyler as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen it.
So it's
I've
pretty
never seen it.
unique. I like the UFL for that reason. It's just different, but I think it's only because they have 8 teams.
I'm glad it's
So
going to be a home game, this upcoming game. And then, hopefully the Kings can get their first win at home. But
for sure.
my only worries are offense. Their offense, it's lacking. But brand new team, brand new coaches. They'll
Hmm.
figure it out. We're good, Kings fans. Don't worry. We're good.
Yeah, I saw that they had their very first touchdown that first game against the Stallions, but this past game against the Storm, all they had was 3 field goals, which is not very entertaining. But like you said, they're a brand new team, expansion team in the league. They'll figure it out. It's just going to take time. So
Yeah.
everything's good. When they get their first win, we'll celebrate it like no other because we're all rooting for
Oh,
them.
yeah. Yeah, we will.
But you have anything else about the Kings before I move on to baseball?
No, I think that's about all for the Kings.
Alrighty.
I think
So
you hit
now
on everything.
we will move on to college baseball. And if you are new here, we follow Murray State, EKU, WKU, Louisville, and Kentucky. So I'm going to dive into Murray State first. So for their first game of the week, let's see, they played Southeast Missouri. So they took the loss to Southeast Missouri 1-8. This was Tuesday, March 31st. We are a little behind this week recording our podcast episode because it was Easter weekend and all of us were busy. And we're currently recording this on Tuesday, so some of the games that we're talking about where the teams are playing for the next week, they've already completed or are wrapping up right now. So we'll talk about that too.
Yes.
Um, so Southeast Missouri beat Murray State 1-8 on Tuesday, March 31st. And then for the weekend series, the Murray State Racers had a home game against Belmont, and they took the loss in that series. They won the first game on Thursday. They won 9-3 on April 2nd, but they had a double header on Friday to wrap up the series. And the first game on Friday they lost 1-12, and then on the second game on Saturday they lost 5-9. So looking ahead, well, not really ahead because it's today that happened. Um, Murray State took on Bellarmine, which is an in-state game. Bellarmine is located in Louisville, is where the game was played. It's on the east end of Louisville, and obviously Murray State's down south of Kentucky. But the Murray State Racers edged out this win. They beat the Bellarmine Knights 8-7. And looking ahead of the schedule for their weekend series, the Murray State Racers travel to Chicago, Illinois to take on UIC. They will play Friday, April 10th at 6, April 11th on Saturday at 2, and then April 12th on Sunday at 1. So, Murray State Racers fans, if you want to check them out, go ahead. If you can't have a way or find a way to watch them, just follow us on socials and we'll keep you updated on how they do. Now, um, going to EKU baseball, the Kerns. I posted on Instagram that there's a unique event that you guys could check out Louisville and EKU played each other in Lexington. That's crazy, right? Because EKU is in Richmond and Louisville's obviously in Louisville. Excuse me. But they played at the Lexington Legends Field in Lexington, and which is pretty cool to check out. I didn't go personally, but I know a few people that did. And it looks like the Louisville Cardinals run ruled EKU 17-7. So the Kerns took the loss against the Cards. And then for their weekend series, which was a home series in Richmond, they took on Austin P, and they took the loss on this series. So um, you have the Thursday game. The Kerns took the loss 2-5, and then the Friday game, EKU took the win 7-6, and then when Saturday came around, they played at 4, and then the Kerns lost 9-12. So not the greatest week you want to see from the Kerns in the baseball, but looking ahead, well, it would have been. They're playing right now, actually. You could catch them on SEC Network, but they're playing Vanderbilt right now. I'm not really sure how they're doing right now. I'll keep you updated if they win or lose on socials. But they played Vandy tonight at 7, and then for the weekend series they travel. Oh, they're not traveling anywhere. It's a home series. They play Bellarmine. So we'll keep y'all updated on how that goes. And for the Bellarmine series, they play Friday at 6, Saturday at 1, and Sunday at 1. So if you want to catch them, go right ahead. And one thing I want to add before I move on to WKU, EKU baseball, I know somebody that is on the staff there, and from what I hear about them, this is a whole new coaching staff, whole new team. They're trying to turn around the program there, so we're just going to keep rooting them on, and we'll be that support system for them. We hope the Kerns get rolling and hope the baseball program gets built back up there. So that's all I wanted to say about EKU. Now going into WKU, their first game of the week last week was against Tennessee Tech. They run ruled them. It was in Bowling Green, so it was a home game. They run ruled them 12-0. They played 7 innings. Great win for the Tops. But when you look into the weekend series, they got swept, which is not good. So they played Liberty in Bowling Green. So Liberty University came in on Thursday, beat them 3-8, and then on Friday they beat them 2-6. And then on Saturday, which was a close one, the Tops almost got this one, but the final score was 5-6 Liberty. So not the greatest week from the Tops. They did get the sweep on the weekday series, but not the series, but the weekday game. But then when it came to the weekend, they got swept. And then today, they played Belmont at 6. Not sure if they won or not. I'll keep you updated on socials. And then throughout the weekend, we have New Mexico State traveling to Bowling Green to take on the Tops. And you could catch those games Friday at 6, Saturday at 4, and Sunday at 1. And you can find those games on ESPN Plus. And if you can't watch ESPN Plus, just follow us on socials. We'll keep you updated. Now, Tyler, if you want to dive into Kentucky baseball, go right ahead.
Yeah, so on Tuesday, March 31st, 31st, excuse me. I'm a little bit sick, so my words probably won't be pronounced the best. But anyways, Kentucky took on Miami University and pulled out with the win 14-11. That was on Tuesday. Very close game. Should have kept the runs down for the opposing team a little bit, but, still pulled out with the victory, 14-11. Now, I don't think there's much to talk about really there. Moving on to the weekend series against Missouri. On Friday, the Cats lost the first game of the series 4-5. So it was a very close game. I believe Missouri actually scored at the top of the ninth to put them up 5-4, and then Kentucky just couldn't answer in the bottom of the ninth. So very close game. Unfortunately, the Cats just couldn't pull out the win. On Saturday, the Cats bounced back and win 9-2. So overall, amazing performance from the Cats. Great pitching, great hitting, scoring 9 runs. On Sunday, the Cats fall 2-5. That was, opposite of what we want to see, obviously. Pitching was wasn't the best. You know, that's I feel like that's the only way to put it. Hitting only scored 2 runs, so with the Kentucky team with this roster that's known for getting a lot of runs, kind of disappointing performance, but that closes the series, which means Missouri takes the series 2-1. However, Kentucky did avoid the sweep, so that's always good news whenever you're not getting swept. Now, obviously, this is a special episode because we're recording it on a Tuesday because of Easter, like Drew said earlier in the episode. Kentucky actually is playing Louisville right now as we speak. Let me check on that because I have the game pulled up. It is the bottom of the 7th, I believe. Kentucky just got out of a 3 runners on base, 2 outs opportunity, while they were pitching, fielding, whatever you want to say. But the score, I'm waiting for them to get off this replay, but the score is 4-1. Louisville actually scored at the top of the first inning, and then Kentucky, I believe Kentucky bounced back and scored 1 run in the 4th inning. I'm trying to pull up the stats, but I can't remember what inning it was. I was looking. Let's see. Drew, do you know? Okay, I got it. Kentucky put up 1 run in the bottom of the 4th, so that tied the game up going into the 5th. Nobody scored there, and then Kentucky pulled away with three runs in the bottom of the 6th, and then currently we are going into the top of the 8th. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm thinking that the game will be over by the time that the episode's over. So I'll give you all an update on that. Drew's going to move into Louisville baseball in just a second, but I believe that's all we have to cover. I do want to talk about the next series we have coming up, though. So Kentucky faces Auburn on a weekend series this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's going to be a 3-game series and a much, definitely a must-watch series because that'll kind of give you an idea of where the Cats are at. Playing another team, another high D1 team. But that's all we have to cover for Kentucky. Moving on to you, Drew, for Louisville baseball.
All right, so when it comes to the cards, we have them, as I talked about the Currents earlier, EKU. Louisville played EKU in Lexington that Tuesday night, and Louisville got the run rule of 17-7. Now, this game was crazy because of all the hits that happened on both teams. So when it came to EKU, they still scored 7 runs on 10 hits, but Louisville just did more. So Louisville had 17 runs on 15 hits, and it was pretty back and forth at first. As the first inning, you have Louisville scoring 3, EKU scoring 4. And then the second inning, there was a bunch of zeros. Nobody scored after that. But then you have Louisville in the third inning scoring. And then the 4th inning came around and Louisville scored 6. And then they scored 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 4 in the 7th to eventually have enough runs to run rule the Kerns. Now, during this time, Louisville getting the win, making them 18-11. Eastern Kentucky after this game is 8-21. So not the greatest season for EKU, but like I said, they're a new program. Hopefully things turn around with the new coaching. But when it comes to the cards, so TJ, oh man, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But there's a pitcher. Let's see. His name is TJ Schlager. Something. But he got the win that game. Congrats to him. And it was a very dominant game for the Cards. So it's good for them to get the win. And then that was their weekday game against EKU. Now we're moving on to the weekend series against Duke, where Louisville dropped 2 of the 3. And for their first game they played, the final score was 3-6. Louisville had 3 runs on 9 hits, but what cost them this game was errors. So anytime you have 3 errors in a college game, especially D1 level, you're less likely to win the game. So Louisville was scoreless through 4 innings. They got their first run in the 5th, and then they got their other runs in the 7th inning and the 9th inning, finishing with 3. But Duke finished with 6 runs on 10 hits. And then it looks like for the Cards, Ethan Herbal got the loss. So we'll move on to the next game that happened in between Louisville and Duke. The final score was 8-10 Blue Devils. And on this game, Louisville had 8 runs on 13 hits with only 1 error. So still had an error, but, making improvement. And then Duke finished with 10 runs and 12 hits with 0 errors. So when it comes to the stats throughout the game, we have Louisville scoring their first run in the 2nd inning and then being scoreless until the 6th inning where they score 3 more runs. Then in the 7th inning, they score 4 more runs, getting them to 8 runs total. But every time Louisville scored runs, Duke just scored a little more than them. So the final score being 8-10 with Peter Michael getting the loss for the Cards. Now, going to the last game of the series, Louisville got the win 9-4, making them 19-13 on the season. Throughout the game, you have Louisville scoring 3 runs in the 3rd inning, 4 runs in the 4th inning, a run in the 5th inning and the 6th inning to get them to 9 runs. They had 9 hits, but they still had 1 error. So it looks like the Cards have some small things to clean up on defense, but I'm sure they'll be all right. And then Duke finished with 4 runs on 13 hits. So Duke had more hits. They just couldn't execute like Louisville could. And then it looks like that Jack Brown got the win for Louisville. So congrats to him. Now looking ahead of the schedule, right now Kentucky and Louisville are playing, and it's down to the wire. It's late in the game. Tyler, can we get a score update on that?
Yeah, it's still 4-1 right now.
Okay.
We're actually heading into the top of the 8th right now. It's, bottom of the 7th still. Only 1 out.
Okay.
Runner on 2nd. It's taking forever because, everybody's challenging. And Louisville just took out their pitcher and put in Peter Michael, which is their relieving pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll keep giving updates on that as we move inning to inning.
All right, good. So that's the Tuesday game, which is today. And then for their weekend series for the Cards, they play at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville. They play Stanford. And Stanford comes in Friday. They'll play Friday at 6, and then they'll play Saturday at 2, and they'll play Sunday at 1. So it looks like the Sunday game is televised on ACC Network on ESPN. So Cards fans, if you want to check out the Cards baseball team, you can watch them televised on Sunday. But if you want to keep up with their stats and scores, follow us on socials. We'll keep you updated as well. Now, that will be it for Louisville baseball. All right, so now that was college baseball. We'll continue to cover this as it will take up most of our summer and a little bit of the fall. Hopefully one of the Bluegrass teams makes it to the World Series. The 2 years before, Kentucky baseball made their first appearance in the World Series. And then this past year, Louisville and Murray State made it. This was the Racers' first time ever making it, which made me pretty excited to cover them on this podcast. So hopefully one of the teams makes it back and we can root for them in the World Series. But we'll keep you updated on the remaining of the regular season and then conference play, and then eventually when it gets to region, hopefully super regionals, and we'll keep you updated on all that. But we're going to dive into college basketball. It just wrapped up, so Michigan and UConn played last night. Michigan got the win, being the national champions. But that's over with. That's last season. The portal just opened today. So
Drew, do we want to hit on the March Madness challenge that we just real quick before we
Yeah, yeah.
dive into that?
Okay, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. So we had a Bluegrass Sports Podcast bracket challenge that we advertised online, and we got 9 people to join. So, to everyone watching this, if you joined, thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all.
And um, we got 9 people, and there was just a lot of changes throughout March,
There was.
and the leaderboard was back and forth, but at the end of the day, it was Zachary Carpenter to take away the win. He got gold, and he won the $25 Visa gift card. So congratulations to Zachary Carpenter.
Congratulations.
Now, yes, congratulations. Now, we will try to do that every year. With a reward.
Yeah.
We want to thank you guys for listening in. So we will be doing that once a year, obviously, when March
And
comes around.
the more we grow, the bigger rewards we can give out.
Hmm.
We can give out more the more we advance.
Right,
So that's
for
all.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. We could do it for football. Um, we'll figure out several different challenges
You know,
and giveaways
ESPN ESPN does a bracket challenge for the playoff. Do you know that?
for
The college football playoff.
I saw something about that
Yeah, so
last
we could
year.
do that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd really like to do that. That'd
for
be
sure.
fun.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations to Zach.
Yeah.
We posted him on socials, so he'll receive his gift card soon. Um, but now we're going to talk about not football. Football is not until fall. We're going to talk about basketball and the transfer portal because the craziness has happened. Literally, everybody's going into this portal. If a player's not graduating, and if they're not going to the NBA, and they still got eligibility left, they are in that freaking portal, man. And um, it's
It's
hit both the
crazy.
Cats and the Cards hard, like big time.
Yeah.
Both rosters are pretty empty at the moment, so
Which can be a good thing. That
it
can
could be a
be
good thing.
could
It
be
could
a
be a
good
good thing.
thing.
Exactly.
We'll see
So we'll
what
just
Mark Pope and
have
Pat
to see.
Kelsey.
Yeah, I try to keep up with like Murray State, EKU, WKU, and their like news and their moves, and I haven't seen much. So if I do
Yeah.
find out more, I will keep it updated on socials. But right now, I think we're mainly just going to talk about Kentucky and Louisville because a lot's going on. They're more on the national stage, and a lot is going on their rosters. So Ty, if you want to take it away with Kentucky first, and I'll wrap it up with Louisville.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what we do know for 100% fact. Okay. So who is entering the transfer portal? We have Jalen Lowe, Jasper Johnson, and Brandon Garrison. Now the official returning for this is 100% returning. Reese Potter and Cam Williams. So those are the only two that are completely official. Now, here's what I have to say about Malachi Marino is 95% going to return to Kentucky. Now, with that being said, he is declaring for the NBA draft and maintaining his college eligibility. So, what that means is basically he's going to go proceed with the draft and he's going to get feedback for what the NBA wants him to do next year and like work on. So I'm assuming that the NBA is probably going to tell him develop the 3-point shot and inside physicality. Now we'll see his official decision soon whenever the time comes. I'm actually really not sure whenever like the date ends where a player can remove themselves from the draft. But we'll figure that out closer to time. It's long ways away. Braden Hawthorne, we know he has said that he's returning, but that doesn't mean it's official. So there's no official announcement, but by word he has said verbally that he's going to return.
Right.
Now, Colin Chandler is 50-50. That's what reports were saying a week and a half ago. Now, there's no official decision that's released. Inside sources are saying that Colin Chandler is 90% likely to return to Kentucky. And we all know how that goes, but I keep hearing that it's locked down that Colin Chandler is going to return. Now,
I think the only team you watch out for is BYU.
yes, exactly, because he'd be closer to home there.
That's home for him. And then
Yep.
I saw something about his wife moved her business back to Utah, but I don't know. That might not even affect his decision. I don't know. I just know he's married.
Yeah.
But, Bluegrass sports fans, we hope that Chandler does come back because we like to see, in the portal era, we like to see people come back and return for another year. Obviously, it's worked out for a lot of people in the past. So, we'll just keep you updated on what happens with Kentucky's roster, Ty, if you want to keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to say
All
that.
good. All good. What we know about Jaden Quaintance. Now, before I say anything, I just want to say do not give your hopes up. Jaden Quaintance is more than likely going to the NBA draft. Now, he has said openly that he's considering returning to college to get a higher draft stock. That means a lot of reports are saying that he won't pass the NBA test, the physicality test, due to his knee. And that would be a major factor going into the NBA draft because a team wouldn't be able to sign him like if they didn't pass the physical. Now, we're going to see how that plays out. Like I said, don't give your hopes up. We want Jaden Quaintance back. I will tell you that. We want him back. We want a fully healthy Jaden Quaintance for next season. But don't give your hopes up. He would be amazing to have. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then one more thing that I've hit on, Denzel Aberdeen. So everybody knows he was a senior. He officially declared for the to enter the transfer portal earlier today. Now, what that means is he's trying to get another year of eligibility due to his freshman year. He only played, I believe it was 12 or 14 games at Florida. Whatever it was, he's trying to get another year of eligibility. Now, I've heard that doesn't mean that he's not considering Kentucky. He has to enter the transfer portal to get his eligibility, is the word going around. So, I'll be honest, we have no clue what Denzel Aberdeen's going to do or if he's even going to get accepted for his extra year of eligibility. So, yeah, that's all we know about last year's players for Kentucky and coming back. Now, there's two people that I will say that are official that Kentucky has contacted, and one of those being Terrence Brown from Utah. And he posted earlier today on Tuesday on his private story, which I don't know how that got out, but he posted on his private Snapchat story that he was on a FaceTime call with Mark Pope, which I will tell you now, that's a guy that Kentucky fans should want.
That would be a huge get.
That is 19 points per game. He is a drive to the basket, quick, tight point guard. He can shoot the three. He can. Now, I really haven't seen him shoot much, like a whole lot. So I don't know what his percentages look like, but he can still make them. So that's always good. Now, what I'm kind of noticing is that Mark Pope is wanting one player to have basically inside drive, and then he wants to surround the perimeter with shooters. And it seems like he wants one dominant big on the inside. And the key to a Mark Pope team to be successful is the 4 to be good. And one more thing that I completely forgot about. Andrei Yelovich entered the transfer portal. I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but I think that was the best way for Kentucky to get a new 4. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't talk bad about players.
Let's just say Tyler wasn't the greatest fan of watching him play.
I just thought there was better, and that's okay. And
yeah, for sure.
Man, it's hard to word this right now because I think he's from the interviews I've watched, he's a great guy, great team player. Just doesn't fit Pope's system well, is what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. He's not a ball handler. Now, if he was fit in a system where he, can catch and shoot and have a less physicality, like less physical role in the team, I feel like he would be a very solid piece to a team. Now, is that a Mark Pope power forward? No, it's not. It's not at all. A Mark Pope power forward needs a dominant three-point shot, can rebound. Pretty much a tall, big, who can dribble and is versatile, as well as having a little bit of physicality to him, which that's a lot to ask for from a player. But trust me, they're out there. And one more player, Dink Pate. It just came out that Mark Pope had a Zoom call with Dink Pate on Tuesday, which was today. So who knows what that looks like. We'll keep you updated. Not saying he's going to go here, not saying he's not. Just the official reports. I believe that is all for Kentucky news. We're going to deep dive into the transfer portal later on. And that's going to be a Sunday, like this Sunday's episode, because we'll know a lot about it, a lot more about Sunday. And
there will possibly be a few commitments by then, and we'll just keep it updated, like you said.
Yeah,
I was wanting to mention, Ty did. I looked up when the portal opened last year. It was March 24th, and then Kentucky got their first commitment, which was Cam Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They got him to commit 4 days later. So it's possible that we do have at least a portal commitment or two for each team. It would be early, but it's possible that each team at least has one or two by then, or by our next episode. So
honestly, I think we know the core of both of these teams by Sunday. We see last year the good teams this year, the top 10 teams, picked all their players up early. And I think that's going to be a thing that Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey hit on. I think they're going to go get the top guys early. Drew will talk about who Louisville's going to go after. But Mark Pope has been talking to a lot of people. Now, Mark Pope isn't very public with that kind of stuff, which is good. That's very good. I think the more stuff that's kind of out there, the worse it is for the team. Mm-hmm. And Louisville's good at that too, with hiding information, and I think it's very good for both of the top colleges in the state of Kentucky.
Right.
Also, Drew, there is one more thing that I was going to hit on. I completely forgot.
Oh, since you forgot, I have a question for you. This might
Okay.
be what it is, but
Yes.
I was wanting to give your stance on where do you think Tyrone Stokes is gonna go?
Yes, that's
I knew it.
exactly.
I knew it. That's what you were talking about. I had the question
That's
ready for you. So we know it's 50-50. There's no set announcement date, commitment date. You're the Kentucky analyst. What do you think about it? What do you think about the situation with Tyrone Stokes?
it's hard. Um, I'll be the first to tell you. I don't know. Nobody knows. If you see a report out there, don't believe it. That's what I'm gonna say because
It constantly changes.
do not believe anything you hear about Tyron Stokes until it is official because he's it. Nobody knows. Nobody. Nobody knows. Now, the thing that I'm gonna say is that Bill Self coming back helps Kansas. On the flip side, Nike, who Tyron Stokes is signed with, helps Kentucky a lot, and kind of see that both Kentucky and Kansas are kind of how do I word it? They're trying to base their teams around Tyron Stokes and clear out space.
In other words,
Now,
they're offering an empty paycheck or a blank check. Be like,
yes,
how much you want?
yes, and reports are around 7 to 8 million for Tyron Stokes, which number one player in the country in this freshman class coming in. Is it worth it? I guess we'll find out.
Remember the last player that was asking for that much coming out of high school was
Who's
AJ
that?
DeBansta at
Yes.
BYU.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at
And
he's about to be a top 5 pick. He was really good
yeah,
in college. So, are they expensive? Yes. But if you want to be good, if you want your team to be good and base around your talent with somebody that's really good, then that's when you are Kentucky basketball. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is my opinion. You
no,
are
you're right.
Kentucky basketball. You have Nike with you. You have horse money, bourbon money, and all the you have a lot of NIL money to play with. Spend it. Don't don't do what you did last year and overpay for role players. You got to go get the stars. Stokes is number one for a reason. I know stars don't matter all the time, but I feel like in Pope's situation right now, after the year he had last year, you got to make that gamble. You have to go write that blank check. Go get that number one recruit. You were the University of Kentucky, and I want. I've been saying this for the past few episodes. I'm sorry. I just want Kentucky to land Stokes for the Bluegrass sake. Because if Kentucky doesn't land Stokes, they got to face him in November. So that'll just be an interesting story to cover. But go ahead, Tom.
I think it says a lot about Mark Pope if he lands Tyron Stokes. I think Kentucky's in a whole lot better place if Kentucky lands Stokes. I think landing Stokes would possibly allow Jaden Quaintance to have an easier decision to return. Like I said earlier, don't count on it, but takes a lot of the pressure off of him. And I believe those two would fit in a system well together, and Mark Pope knows that. So that's kind of it. Yeah, so Tyron Stokes is we don't know when he's going to commit. Assuming it's going to be very soon. He just posted on his Instagram not too long ago that some along the lines of he would rather be respected than loved. So take that how you want. Many people think it's favored towards Kansas, which a lot of people are saying our fan base is hurting our recruitment. Not sure.
What do you think about the fan base and the
Okay.
recruiting?
I think Kentucky is very highlighted on the mainstream media with sports, mostly due to the Bluegrass State caring about college sports more than anything. Mm-hmm. College sports are professional sports to Kentuckians because which is why I advocate for a professional team. But, I think Kentucky and Louisville, their fan bases are all in on their teams. And the positive fans are loud. The negative fans are loud. You have that in every fan base. But with Kentucky, they're just louder. That's what I have to say about it. They're just louder. And is that a bad thing? No, of course it's not. Why is that a bad thing? Because the fans have more passion? Now, I'm not saying that the negative fans are right in being negative, because I try to stay positive about everything. Every situation that we have, it's going to work out. We're going to be good in the end. But it is what it is. Every fan base has it. Every fan base. Every single fan base. I can't name a single fan base where I haven't read a single negative comment. And when you're on social media and every single person has the ability to write a little post on Instagram or X or whatever you want and hit post, you're going to have trolls. You're going to have everything. You're going to have people from different fan bases pretending to be a fan of a team to troll. That it happens all the time, and basically that's all I have to say about it. It's dumb.
I would agree with you.
It's really that comment is it. I just don't get it.
BBN is very passionate, like you said. I agree with
they're
you
passionate, and the mainstream media. I have so much to say, and I wish I could talk to somebody from the mainstream media about Kentucky, because honestly, they don't understand the level the passion that Kentucky fans have over college sports and the standards at Kentucky, and the standards at Louisville are growing too. And that's how it should be, because, standards make a team. If you're okay with the bare minimum, you're going to get the bare minimum. That I'm just going to leave it at that, because I could go on forever with analogies and whatever about the mainstream media versus Kentucky. Basically, Kentucky's hated because they've been good for the last decade.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And you can post it all you want. That's what I'm saying. The mainstream media hates Kentucky because they've been good the last decade.
It's a solid point. I would have to agree with you on that as well. I'm not just saying that because I'm your friend, but that's just the truth.
Yeah. I mean, if Louisville was in the same situation, I would say the same exact thing.
Yeah.
But Louisville's growing right now, and I'm glad. I want the rivalry to be back and forth, and obviously on the podcast, I'm gonna be unbiased and give my takes. I want the rivalry to be back and forth. Great games in November whenever we play in football, and hopefully we play in December in basketball, which we didn't this past year, but I'm hoping that we play in December, because I wasn't a fan of the early basketball matchup rivalry for Kentucky and Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's all I had to talk about with
No, you're
Kentucky.
good.
I've
I
been
was letting you go, man, because I know there's a lot going on in the sports world when it comes to the portal.
it really
So
is.
if you're done, I will. Um,
Yeah, that about wraps it up for Kentucky news. I'll hit on a lot more Sunday.
and like I said, I keep saying this over and over again. I will keep saying it. When people do commit and we get official news, we will share it on socials. So make sure if you want to
Please
stay on
follow us.
it, check us out. Exactly, please. And now, since that was Kentucky's news, guess what? It gets even crazier. We're diving into Louisville basketball. And when I say Louisville basketball, with their roster, let me just read you everybody's decision so far. I'm gonna read you their name and what they're doing. And at the end we're gonna come together and see, oh man, how many players they got left. Alright. So Mikael Brown Jr., their star player, NBA draft, done declared, right? Then you have Ryan Conwell. He's graduated, but he's declared for the draft. He announced today. And then Javon Hadley, graduated. Isaac McNeely, graduated. You got Frew, their big man, transfer portal. You got Connie Ruths, transfer portal. You got Ali Khalifa, graduated. Kobe Rogers, graduated. You got Kashawn Pryor, graduated. Oh wait, before I dive into the last people, it wasn't involved in this information that I have, but it says that there was a player that Louisville added. His name was Mohamed Kamara. Yeah, so Louisville forward Mohamed Kamara entered the transfer portal as well. He did not play one game for the Cards. He was a 6'8", 225-pound forward. He announced that he would end up redshirting before the season started. He did not play a game, like I said. He came into Louisville as a four-star recruit from the NBA Africa last year. He was Louisville's last addition to the roster, and he wanted a redshirt a year, so he didn't play at all. And yeah, now he's in the portal. So that's another person they have in the portal. And then the last two that is still to this day undecided is Adrian Woolley and Vangelius Zugris. So out of every name that I just listed, they don't have any commitments yet. They don't have any high school recruits. We talk about PK. We talk about Kelsey. He doesn't recruit high school. Well, he did with Mikkel, but you know what I mean. They have two players left from last year's team. Two, which is crazy. But you gotta think that's still like a lot of teams right now. They're kind of itching for a player, but Louisville only has two more players. Not two more, but they have only two players from last year's team, being Adrian Woolley and Zugris. And when they do make their decision, we'll keep it updated if they return or hop in the portal. For players that they are pursuing, so like I said in the last episode, Louisville's very heavily pursuing on Quinn Ellis, point guard that's overseas. He still hasn't made an official decision. I thought he would have by now, but we're still waiting on that. Both Kentucky and Louisville are pursuing him, but there's no official decision, so we'll keep you all updated. I think he's going to go to Louisville, but we'll see. Now looking at this list of top 10 players in the transfer portal, I know for sure that Pat Kelsey in Louisville has reached out to the second player, Juke Harris. He's a shooting guard from Wake Forest. He was pretty good. And I'm not sure if there's a visit set up yet, but for this next one there is. The 10th best player in the portal is point guard from Oregon, Jackson Shellstead, however you say his last name. He's point guard from Oregon. He was pretty good. So was Juke Harris. They were both really amazing last season. But Louisville has contacted both, and Shellstead he has a visit scheduled for Louisville. So we'll keep you updated if he does commit or not. And then it says that Tyrone Riley the fourth has also he has a visit scheduled for Louisville as well. He's scheduled to visit Oregon and Louisville. If Todd, do you think that name sounds familiar? Because Kentucky heavily pursued him last season, then he returned to San Francisco.
Sorry, who was it? I was
Do
keeping
you
up with the
remember?
baseball game.
No, you're good. Do you remember Tyrone Riley, San Francisco?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
So Mark Pope really, I mean, Kentucky's pursuing him as well. I'm not saying they're not,
Mm-hmm.
but Mark Pope really wanted him last season, and he returned to San Francisco. Now he hopped in the portal again, and he has a schedule. He has a visit scheduled with Louisville and Oregon, but we're talking about Louisville here. So it's very interesting to see all these targets. And, at this point, the portal's open. Kelsey and Pope are reaching out to everybody, right? So it's kind of hard to keep up with who's reaching out with who and who's visiting when. So on socials, I mean, we're going to talk about who they're pursuing, like on these episodes, but we're only going to post like on socials, like who commits and
Official
roster
news.
updates. Yes, we will post official news. We're not going to do the rumors. We're not going to create rumors. Um, we're going to give our takes, our opinions, and then we're going to post official news. That's
Yep.
what we do here at Bluegrass Sports Podcast. And Tyler, do you have anything to add to that?
No. I could see eventually us getting once we grow a little bit more, we could have a separate page just solely for rumors if you wanted to keep up with the inside stuff and not stuff that isn't fully official about commits and stuff. We may create a separate page for that on Instagram just to kind of keep fans in the loop. You know what I mean? But for right now, our Instagram page, X, everything, official news only. We don't
Oh,
want any
hold on.
rumors.
Hold on. Big news. Big news
What's
just
that?
dropped. Um, just now. So I was telling y'all about the list on I look at on three or however you say it, 1 3
Yeah,
on three.
yeah.
So I told y'all that Louisville is going after the second and 10th player on the list. They just locked in a schedule. They scheduled a visit with the number one portal player, Kansas transfer center Flory Bindunga. Bidunga. Flory Bindunga. He's the former 5 star. He's a center for Kansas, and he just locked in a visit scheduled with Louisville.
Drew, that's huge. Like,
So, yeah.
that Pat Kelsey's problem last year was his center. And if he gets a center like that,
That'd be huge.
that's a scary Louisville team. That's a
So it looks
scary
like
Louisville team.
his visit is on Friday. This guy's 6'10", 235 pounds. He's from Congo. He averages 13 points a game with 9 rebounds. He averages almost 3 blocks a game. And he shot 64% from the field, and he averaged 32 minutes with Kansas. So he was a starter, obviously. And then he's ranked first in the portal and first at his position, obviously. So he's going on that visit with the guy I just said, Jackson Shelstad. They'll be on campus at the same time. So this just dropped. So Kelsey's hitting the portal hard. He's going after the top players. So we'll keep y'all updated if there's any commits. And I just wanted to share that since we're still live. And Ty, if you just want to update the fans on the baseball game that just ended,
Well,
go right
currently
ahead.
we're still in it. It is, or hold on. No, we
You're
are
behind.
not. I'm way
You're
behind. Oh
Yeah,
my.
it's over.
Yeah, it is. I think I paused it and
You're
I've been
good.
stuck behind the whole time. No way. No way I
You're
was
good.
actually that behind. Okay. Well, Kentucky pulled out the win 4-2 against Louisville. First meeting of the year. I believe that's the only meeting. I wish we could see a series between these two teams. Honestly,
I know.
I wish. Why
It's
isn't
because
it
they're
a
not in the same.
thing?
So here's the
Yeah,
thing:
but
they're not in the same conference, and conference plays on the weekends. And I would honestly, I would love for it to be at the beginning, where it's non-conference play.
Mhm.
So there's a series there, but I don't know. I'll take it. It's the home and home isn't bad, but weekend series you see the best pitching. Weekday games you don't see the greatest pitching, but on the weekend you see the best of the best on the teams. So that would be fun to watch. I understand exactly where you're coming from, but yeah, I'll still watch it when I can. So congratulations to the Batcats on getting the victory. Um,
yeah,
I I have a few friends at UK and they pay attention to college baseball heavily and they talk about they might be a little biased, I'm not gonna lie, but they pay attention to Louisville as well. And from what I know, they've seen Louisville play and Kentucky play, and they think Kentucky's a little better, like just where they're at now. Now I wouldn't have guessed that. A few episodes ago, I talked about how I thought Louisville was better just because they played better competition. You know, both of these teams are ranked. Now they're not. But, you know, Kentucky just dropped against Missouri. They're having a rough time right now in the SEC. So it was a good win to get over their rival. And hopefully they get to bounce back. And hopefully Louisville bounce back because Louisville's going through it right now. They're dropping conference series and they're losing to their rivals. So we'll keep you updated on final scores, but congratulations to the Batcats on getting that victory. Now, Todd, do you have anything else before we wrap this episode up?
no, I think that's all. I mean, like you said, I think Kentucky's in a decent spot here. I would say better than Louisville is right now. Um, not to compare, but you know, uh,
Mm,
Louisville's fighting their way back. I think this win would have been huge if Louisville could have pulled out the victory. But Kentucky was able to pull out the win, and hopefully for Kentucky's sake, they can build momentum and keep fighting in SEC play.
yeah.
But
So
I,
I know we had a lot to talk about, and this was a long
yeah,
episode for just two people.
it
But there's
was
just so much going on, and thank you guys if you made it this far. Thank you for watching. We appreciate every view and any ounce of support that we could get. It means the world to us. And thank
for
you guys
sure.
for watching again, and we will see you later.
Thank you all.